Welcome everybody, this is going to be a video from Photo Grommer. Thank you so much for letting me use this footage, but this is going to be a terrible accident with high mechanism of injury, and we're going to go over the medical side on top of why this happened and how we could use this information to prevent this for ourselves. Oof, that's bad. If you would like to know what to do after a motorcycle crash and possibly save somebody's life, make sure you go to accidentscene.org and sign up for their online class. This is a great opportunity and a great way for you to learn what to do, how to do it, and then possibly save somebody's life. So right here we're going to have this motorcycle rider doing his wheelie. You know, everyone's like, this is cool, I'm going to film him, I'm going to watch him. And that's what this rider's doing right here. This rider is going to be watching this guy doing a wheelie. Now the guy that's standing in the middle of the road, he's trying his best not to be in anybody's way, but you're adding that extra risk just to get a camera shot. That's pretty much what he's doing. He's trying to get shots of everybody riding past, and it's kind of cool to do, I guess, you know, all those different things. One thing I would do if you have the income is to have a drone, have it be 10 feet in the air, and it'd be a lot easier. One thing that I would watch out for, and especially in a group ride, especially if you're not doing any type of formation, is to really look forward, like look ahead. Do not look to side, especially when you're on a bridge like this, because there's going to be something in the way. If nobody's following a formation, there's going to be obstacles and hazards in the way. In any area, you have to be hyper vigilant, even more when you're doing a group ride like this and one that's not in formation. So we have this guy that is filming this whole thing, and then he parks his bike off to the side. It's not all the way off to the side, but it's off to the side. His assumption is people won't be riding on the shoulder. Throughout this video, there's a lot of people riding on the shoulder. So I wouldn't have done that, but that's what's there. That's what happens. It's not all his fault, this guy right here. It's a lot of it is the responsibility of this guy to be looking forward and not to crash into something, especially if it's parked. So what's going to happen, he's going to hit this at a roughly high rate of speed. When I say high rate of speed, I absolutely mean anything over walking or running speed. Okay, so 5 miles an hour, anything over 5 miles an hour is considered high rate of speed for me, just because our bodies aren't designed to pretty much fall down at anything higher than running speed, and even then it's very painful. So that to me is a very high mechanism of injury. So I'm going to just go frame by frame real quick. So there's going to be the initial impact. So the initial impact is that he's going to go up and over easily. I mean, you're going to see him fly in the air, but he's going to go up and over. So that's going to cause some type of bilateral femur issue. So femurs, the big portion of your thigh, that bone that's in there, you could possibly have some type of break, hairline fracture, compound fracture, whatever it is. If at minimum, he's going to have bruising on his legs from the handlebars. He's going to go up and then over. So here's going to be the impact right here, and there's the up and over. So you're also going to have injuries to your hands. So right here, when you have your hands over the handlebars, it's going to be called skier's thumb. It's going to pretty much snap back and cause injuries to the thumb and then to the wrist and then the radius and ulna. So you're going to have multi-system trauma to this right here. So you're going to have flesh, bone, organ issues. So he's going to go up into the air. Now, this is where it gets kind of sketchy and pretty dangerous. So his helmet completely flew off. Now, I don't know if he had it strapped in or if it wasn't sized right. So make sure you guys are getting the appropriate sized helmet. That is very, very important. I talked about a beginner helmet just last week, and it's a very good helmet for $200. It's the Bell SRT. There's also other ones out there, the HJC CL17. Both are Snell rated. The HJC is about $130, $140. The Bell, the one that I have, is $200, but they're both Snell rated, both very good. The Bell is intermediate oval, HJC is round oval, so you're going to have to figure all that stuff out. I recommend checking that video. But make sure you actually strap it in, because when it flies off in a crash like this with all the rotational forces and all the kinetic energy, all that stuff, it's not going to do any good if it's not on your head when you hit the ground. So when he goes and hits the ground, your first initial reaction is put your hands down. So you see his hands right there. Also, his shoe flew off, so make sure you have proper footwear. But your hands tend to go down like that. You know, your body wants to naturally protect its core. So when I see an accident like this, I always assume that there's going to be extremity injuries. So you're going to have wrist, hands, palms. Then you're also going to have your lower extremities, which is your legs. So you're going to have ankle injuries, you're going to have knee injuries, you're going to have tib, fib, femur, all those different things. And then especially with a high rate of acceleration and then deceleration, you could possibly have some type of spinal compression or internal injuries, maybe broken ribs that could puncture the lung or some type of internal portion, anywhere. It could be your liver, your pancreas, spleen, all those different things. So he's going to go ahead and hit the ground. And that's going to cause, obviously, the ankle injury like I was talking about, and then you're going to also have the compression injuries and the tailbone injuries. So that's very painful, very, very painful. And then that's where he's going to roll and then keep rolling and hit his head. So we're going to move forward to a different point of view, and that's the beauty of this video that Photogrammer allowed me to use. So this is going to be footage from Savage Kev on this one. So they're going to be moving forward, and then he almost hits this rider. So this is where that formation really plays a huge role. I understand this is like a hooligan type thing. I get that. But just remember, guys, that when you add in no formation, you're going to add in extra hazards. So you have to be even more vigilant. So this is why being in formation and then having a safety-oriented group is very important, especially for beginners, because beginners are already anxious and don't know how everything functions. So if you're going to be a part of a group like this, make sure you understand that you're taking a very high risk, and then you need to have the skills associated with this. So in this situation, Savage Kev is going to have to apply the brakes really well. He's going to have to stay alert. He's going to have to do a search, evaluate, execute every single second of every single portion of this ride, when you should just be relaxing, especially on having a fun ride like this. So we're going to have him look back real quick because he wanted to move out of the way. The rider that we just saw right in front of this guy, he actually plowed into the rest of the riders, so you can barely see his tires here. But we're going to move on to a different point of view. So he crashes into them and causes more injuries. So that's the original rider, and then we have this rider right here. He's going to have quite a bit of injuries, and we're going to go over some of those. It's crazy how much injury you can have to flesh and soft tissue when you're going at this type of speed. So here's everybody. Here's what's going on. Everyone's doing their thing. That's the initial crash, and then here's the secondary crash. That is not good. Okay. Now I don't know why he did park his bike on the side when I said that that people aren't going to be on the shoulder, and that might be his assumption. But look, we already got like 10 people on the shoulder. They're taking up the whole thing. And the scary part is easily fly off the bridge. So we're going to move forward just a little bit more. There's going to be a ton of different camera angles because everybody's recording, everybody's videotaping, everybody's concerned. Look at this guy right here. He's having to apply the brakes, and then he's putting his feet down, which is kind of a natural reaction, especially if you're not skilled. So there's his feet. He's going down like that. We also have riders with passengers on them, so this is going to play even a bigger risk. And guys, I want you to understand, I'm not crapping on Photogrammer and then the group and all this other stuff. I'm just trying to get you guys to understand that if you ride in a group like this, it's going to be higher risk. Okay, I want you to understand that you can do whatever the heck you want to do, but I just won't be a part of it, especially in this one. But you can do what you want to do. Just accept the risks. And then don't get upset when something bad happens. Okay? So here we go. We're going to move forward a little bit, and then we're going to talk about the actual injuries. Then we're going to get to it. And let's get to it. Let's get to it. So after the accident, everyone's kind of pulling over to see what's happening. This is one of those situations where you definitely want to check on the rider himself or herself and make sure it's not anything life-threatening. If it's just, normal, like skinned your knee, skinned your hand, like a little bit of road rash, that can be treated either at home. If it's more severe, you're going to have to go to the hospital to get it debrided. So what they're going to do is scrub all that dirt and grime out of your skin right on top of your raw nerves. So this is why wearing gear is very, very important. Wear your personal protective equipment, everybody. So everyone here pretty much has like a stunt cage for their bike because, they're stunting. But I want you to take a look at this guy, right? Is it gonna show him? Yep, right there. So he's got obvious discoloration to his skin. And when you see something obvious like that, that means the skin has actually been sloughed off and you have road rash. So there's road rash on his arm, and then his hand has road rash, but it also has impact injuries. So you can see a little bit of blood coming down his hand. That's impact injuries. All those little discolorations to the skin, that is road rash, and then flesh and soft tissue injuries. So his whole hand, his right hand is just probably, I don't know, I can't tell. I have an x-ray. I don't know if it's broken bones or anything, but quite possibly broken bones. But he's got road rash to his elbow, his radius, and all his forearm. And then he's going to possibly have injuries to his stomach. He actually raises his stomach a little bit here. That's what I don't want you to see. Right now, he's moving his hand to see if he has flexibility and movement in his hand. It's probably already swelling up, but if you have any type of structural damage, and that's what That's what I use. I use the term structural damage, is that your bones are the structure. It's the scaffolding for your body. So if you break it, it's not going to hold up. So he's testing to see if he still has any type of structural integrity to his bones and to his flesh. So that right there is all road rash. It looks like level 1. There's level 2, level 3. But he's checking his stomach too. So the reason why he checked his stomach and he's checking his body parts, because obviously there's going to be some type of pain. The only time you ever like check your stomach or you check your leg is if you have an itch, it's been painful, or something's going on. So something out of the ordinary. So he's checking his body. Right now the adrenaline's very high, so he's like, okay, everything's good. But it's not good. Here's the initial impact for this rider. There's not much shown for this rider in terms of injuries, but man, doesn't that look terrible? So guys, if we're going to be riding in a group like this, let's make sure that we stay in formation. If we're not going to stay in formation, please accept the risks. Wear the gear just in case something does happen like this. And if you don't feel comfortable, but you still want to be a part of a group like this, sit in the back. Sit in the back, that way you can watch everything. Think of it as like you going to a party and you're just kind of watching the whole group. You're watching everybody do their thing. You can actually observe and you can kind of figure out what people are doing by people watching. The moment you enter in a conversation, everything around you has been diminished and you're focused on that conversation. Do you know what's going on everywhere else? No, you don't. So when you sit in the back of a group ride and you're not actively participating in the situation, but you're observing, you can still kind of enjoy it, but be removed from a lot of the hazards that are present. That's what I would do. Or in a curve, you're swerving, okay? You're trying to just avoid the obstacle in front of you, get back in your lane. So you grab a broom. I want you to just move it to the side. That's it. You notice how my upper body and everything else is staying still? My head is still. I want you to do that with the bike, okay? And I'm going to do